Wonderful. So for everyone just popped in, I'm Dakota Mays, and I'm really happy to have you all here. Today I'm just going to show some basic yoga that's pretty much, directed towards people who sit a lot. So everyone here probably sits a lot, even me, unless I'm at my standing desk. And it's just for our hip flexors. So if anything throughout today's flow is just too much of a stretch or uncomfortable, just your body, maybe you come from a past history of like injuries and everything. Of course, I'm not with you here in person, so I can't see like pain faces or anything like that. Just really listen to your body today and go with the flow. So like quite literally go with the flow. But if something does not work with you, feel free to back off, sit out, do what you need, seriously. This is always your practice whenever it comes to yoga. And then at the end, once we're all, loosened up and everything, I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I personally have solved my hip flexor issues that used to happen whenever I sit a lot, whether it's from the car, working at a desk. I'm gonna show my personal issues or personal fixes for those sitting issues, something that you can do very easily at your desk, in the office, or whether you work at home, either or. But yeah, we're just gonna figure it out and fix those issues, right? That's what we're here for. So wherever you're ready, go ahead and hop onto your mat. And if you do have yoga blocks, that would be great today, but they're not needed. They're not a necessity or anything, but they're gonna help. But if you would like to really get comfortable in our later poses when we're on our back and seated and whatnot, grab a pillow. So real quick, run to your room real quick, grab 1 or 2 pillows. They will help a ton, I promise you. And they'll just help with you getting more comfortable and settling into poses much deeper than you would without them. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop onto our mat. We're gonna hop in child pose first. So this is one pose we may have heard before, even if we've never been in yoga before. So bring your knees, maybe even hip width apart, but if you would like to, bring your knees about mat width apart. We're gonna let our belly button drop in between our legs as you walk your hands forward and come on down into your child pose. You can rest on your forehead or you can pick a cheek. And once you're here, listen to the body. Maybe you feel a nice decompression, stretch in the low back and hips already. And maybe give a little rock left and right here, just settling into the body, giving those hip flexors a little massage. And while you're here, I want you to start listening to your breath. So one of the main things about yoga and connecting with yourself is your breath. So something we do automatically all the time. We want to kind of take control of that when we're flowing. So maybe start to slow down your inhales, but make them fuller, breathing into the low stomach possibly here. And as you exhale, maybe slow down the exhale, let it go out more gradually. So starting to take a little bit of control of the breath here. Maybe find 2 more rounds of deep breathing here into the low stomach. Really trying to see that low back lift up to the ceiling as you inhale. And really just feeling the whole body relax from the fingers all the way to the toes on the exhale. So go ahead and find 1 more big deep breath here. Got a couple more coming in. Wonderful. And after that last exhale, all we're going to do is gaze forward in between the hands. And we're going to inhale, come on up slowly, send the hips forward into a seal pose. So if this is too intense, you can drop down to the elbows for Sphinx pose. But we're letting the hips fall forward and maybe rock left and right with the hips. A little sway with the shoulders, just opening up the hip flexors. 1 more breath here. Wonderful. After your last inhale here, we're going to exhale, send the hips back to that child pose. So we're going to do a lot of hip lubrication right now. So inhale, roll back into that seal pose, nice and smoothly. And then on the exhale, send it back to your child pose. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do circles. So inhale, coming up to the right with the hips. Big hip circles. And as you exhale, send it back to the left. Let's do 1 more circle this direction. Inhale, coming up to the right. As you exhale, going back to the left. Switching directions here. Now you're inhaling, coming up to the left side. Exhaling back to the right. So doing 1 more circle this direction. Inhaling up the left. Just lubricating the hips with this movement. Doing both hip joints. The nice sensation. And as you exhale, going back to the right, meet your child pose. We're gonna hold here for one breath, just sway it left and right. Feeling the hips already a little bit more lubricated. And we're gonna slowly come up into our tabletop position. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Your knees are under your hips. So you got a nice straight spine right now. We've all heard of cat-cow. We're gonna do a few rounds of that, some traditional cat-cow. So as you inhale, we're just gonna drop the belly button down to the mat, pull the chest forward slightly and start to gaze up to the ceiling as you stretch the neck. As you exhale, we're gonna curl and round at the back, tucking in the chin and tailbone. Wonderful, another round, inhaling, dropping the belly button, pull that chest forward, reaching the chin up. Wonderful, exhale, curl and round, opening up the backside. Let's just do one more round because it feels so good right now. Inhaling, feeling the front body stretch, opening the stomach and chest. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. We're gonna go side to side, little side bends here. So crunching in at the right side first, feel the left side body get long. And then slowly crunch in at the left side, shoulder coming into that hip point and the right side body getting long. Let's do one more.
Thank you for calling in, Edgar.
Sorry, what was that? So do one more side bend each side. Just feeling the side body open up, side parts of the ribs. Wonderful, come back to a neutral spine. Now we're gonna combine those movements for spine circles. So like your cat-cow and the side bends, we're gonna take this middle vertebrae and we're gonna draw circles with it. So this is really important to keep with you throughout your day-to-day life. These can do a lot for connectivity in the spine. So we inhale as we round at the bottom. And as you exhale, you round at the top. And these can be very small circles at first. Just feeling what feels good for your body. It's like we're connecting the dots of the cat-cow and side bends. But now you're just doing it in a fluid circle motion. And once you find a couple circles, feel free to switch directions. Again, exhaling as you round at the top. And you inhale as you round at the bottom. And sometimes closing the eyes with this movement can help a lot. Just stepping inside the body, feeling the level of control. Maybe you haven't tried to move your body in this direction before. Maybe it's just a new movement altogether. Just feeling the fluidity. Let's switch directions here. Go one more circle both ways. Nice fluid motion. Every circle getting more fluid. Last circle going the other direction. Feeling your breath with your movement. Feeling that connection help you get into the state of mind of connectivity. Wonderful. Finding a neutral spine. So just pause here with the straight spine for a second, noticing any difference in the body. Just finding some calmness. Now we're going to do circles through the shoulders. So we're going to take our chest and we're going to do front and back circles. So first we inhale, press up the scapula to protract the shoulders, and we're going to lean forward slightly. As you exhale, drop the chest down. We're coming back. You inhale, come up into the front. So small circles with the chest. Exhale, you go down and back. One more this direction. Inhale, really pushing through the mat, leaning forward. Exhale, drop it, lean back. Let's switch directions. Slowly inhale, lean forward, press it up. Exhale, down and press it forward. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, down to the front. Last circle here, inhaling, feeling all parts of the shoulders. Nice and lubricated to the scapula. Wonderful, we come to a neutral spine. We're gonna curl in the toes slowly, lift at the hips, up and back to your first down dog. So if you've never done a down dog before, really the whole goal of the down dog is decompress through the back. So you're really pushing through your hands, trying to get your hip points as far away from your hands as you can. And a lot of people are fixated on keeping the legs straight here, and that's not important at all. You can bring a nice bend to the knees as much as you need to, so you can drop that belly button through the inner thighs, really get that extra decompression in the spine, which is what we really need as we're sitting all day. So from here, once you find that extension, your down dog,
Maybe give a little shake through the shoulders and chest. That feels good. I really love shaking out my head here. Oh, yeses and nos. Some circles with the forehead. Letting go of that tension in the back of the neck. Making sure your head is nice and heavy. And then from here, you can pedal it out. Do some nerve flossing for the legs. You might feel the hamstring get a little stretch. But just pedaling up the feet. Lubricating those hammies and hips a little bit more here. And if you would like, you can also sway your hips left and right. So you feel a little stretch in the side body, just like those side bends, but a little different sensation. You can do a couple both ways. Just figuring out what feels good for you, playing around anything you need here in down dog. We're going to be coming back to this pose a lot. This is your home-based pose in yoga. So really making it your best friend is important. So let's find one more breath here. It's a nice still down dog, pressing through all parts of the hands. Your head is heavy, pressing the hips up and back. Wonderful. After your last exhale, we're going to gaze forward, slowly walk the feet to the hands. Meeting the hands at the top of the mat. We're going to find an inhale, come to a halfway lift. Try to find a flat back. So this is one where you can bring your hands to your shins if you need to, or your knees. Just trying to find extension to the back. Imagine your crown of your head is reaching to the front of the room. Your tailbone's reaching to the back of the room. Full breath, breathing, lengthening your spine with every inhale. On your next exhale, let's fold forward. You can bring the hands to the legs, the ground, or you can even grab each elbow here. Just shake it off here in ragdoll. Maybe sway left and right. And again, I'm going to keep reminding the let go of tension in the back of the neck. That's where most of us are holding our tension at. So give the head a shake, yes and no. That feels good. Do it some more. Maybe do it a little bit more intensely. Maybe shake the elbows left and right. Let the shoulders really dangle here. And again, you don't have to straighten out your legs all the way. You can find a nice little bend in the knees. And all of these poses, so your hamstrings can help you go a little bit deeper. Finding your last exhale here, last little wiggles that you need. What we're going to do is slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. On the inhale, slowly coming up, low back, mid back, in your shoulders, and then your head coming up last. We're going to bring the hands up to the ceiling on a big inhale. Reach the hands high. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. So here we're just going to pause for a breath or two. And here I want you guys all to set your intention. So this is a great time to just pause. Maybe giving a little attention to our flow. So whatever brought you to this flow today, whatever brought you to your mat today, just give a second to say thanks. Give some gratitude that you're here, connecting with your body and your breath. One more breath. Settling deep into that feeling, whatever it is for you today. Feeling grounded through the feet. On your next inhale, let's reach the hands up through the sky, feeling the whole body connected. As you exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to the ground into a forward fold. As you inhale, halfway lift again. Maybe your hands stay on the ground, maybe they come to your shins. As you exhale, bring the hands to the ground, step the feet back into a plank or a chaturanga low push-up, up to you. And then inhale, come into an up dog. So you drop your hips down, lift the chest up. And then as you exhale, we come into a down dog. Wonderful. 2 breaths here. Maybe you're pedaling it out, you're moving, whatever felt good last time, or you're holding a still down dog. Totally up to you. Just feeling that compression, feeling that reach through the back. And again, down dog's a pose where you want to feel your hands really grip the ground. You want to feel grounded through your hands. Dropping that belly button through the inner thighs. Let's find one more exhale here. Gaze between the hands. As you inhale, set the hands to the, or set the feet to the hands. I'm sorry. Inhale, halfway lift up. Find that flat back. As you exhale, let's fold it forward here.
As you inhale, stand up all the way, reaching to the ceiling as high as you can. Really feel that stretch. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. I'm going to give you 2 breaths here. Again, connecting back to that intention, whatever that intention is for you. Just muting a few people here for everyone. Wonderful. One more breath here, standing firmly, feeling your toes grip the ground, feeling every part of the body from the feet to the crown of the head connected. On your next inhale, let's reach the hands back up. Every time you reach up, you're reaching higher. Exhale, fold forward all the way to the ground. Inhale, halfway lifting. Every time you halfway lift, find a little bit more reach to the spine here. Exhale, step the feet back into plank or low push-up chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog, reaching the chest up, dropping the hips forward. Exhale, come into your down dog. Wonderful. One breath here. Pause. Just breathe. So with this left foot, we're going to step it towards the middle of the body just a little bit. We're going to inhale, bring this right foot up to the ceiling for 3-legged down dog. We're going to pause here for a breath. So exhale, keep reaching, try to keep the hips square. One more inhale, big inhale. As you exhale, step this right foot by the right thumb. So in between the hands by that right thumb, drop the left knee down where it is, and then inhale, come up, hands to heart center. So we're in a little nelt lunge here. So this is already one of my favorite poses to hit the psoas. So our left leg that's in the back right here, you'll feel a nice stretch here in the psoas. And what we can do here, this is a great pose to really target it, is tuck in the tailbone. So a lot of times whenever we do this kind of pose, we let the belly button drop forward. We have a little arch in the back right now. But what we want to do is tuck in the tailbone here a little bit, and you'll feel more of a sensation here in the left hip flexor, and that's what we want. So as you feel that, let's lift the hands up here. Maybe bring the hands together, reaching them high. A nice stretch. Maybe a slight bend backwards if you're really feeling it, if it's in your practice today. One more inhale. Wonderful. Exhale. Hands wrap that right foot. Step that right foot back into your plank or chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Bring it on up. Exhale into your down dog. Perfect. One breath here. Pause. Feeling grounded through the hands as always. On your next inhale, let's bring the left foot up this time. Reaching it high, 3-legged down dog. Pause for the exhale, keep reaching, squaring up the hips. Inhale. Exhale, step that left foot by the left thumb. So once you get it there, you pause, drop the right knee down, settle the hips and come up onto your nut lunge. So same thing in this side. So now we're going to be feeling that right hip flexor. So pause, notice how your hips are feeling, notice what kind of tilt you have going on. And I want you to slightly tilt the pelvic floor in, so tuck the tailbone in. And then feel that stretch in the psoas a little bit more. Not too much, but you feel the sensation here. And then maybe bring your hands together, bring them up, pausing for a breath or two. Strong legs, firm body, but you're not tense. Reaching the hands high, finding some space in those upper ribs. Keep breathing. Maybe you add a little arch to the back, but keep the tailbone tucked. One more inhale. Perfect. Exhale, hands wrap that left foot. Step the left foot back into plank or chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhale into your down dog. 5 breaths here in down dog. You can always drop the knees down for a child pose in down dog if that's what you need. If you ever need a rest. But if not, you're pressing through those hands, maybe you're pedaling out. You're just stepping into your body. Again, down dog being your home base pose.
doing so much for the hamstrings, opening up the heart, releasing the spine tension. Just exploring what's tight on you, opening up that area as you please. 2 more breaths. Let the head be heavy. So every time you do this pose, maybe try to dig a little bit deeper in your body, seeing where you're holding on to those lower levels of tensions, those subtle levels of tension that you're holding on to without even knowing it. Try to find them. Find your last exhale. Great, gaze forward. Inhale, you step forward. Come into your halfway lift. Again, reaching that crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold it forward to the ground. Inhale, standing up all the way. Reaching as high as you can. Try to touch that ceiling. Exhale, hands at heart center. Pause for a breath. Coming back to that intention, whether it's about you, whether it's about someone else you love, whatever it is, a quality of yourself that you love, stepping back into that, keeping it present in your flow. On your next inhale, we're reaching high. On the exhale, folding forward. Nice and smooth. As you inhale, come into your halfway lift. Exhaling, stepping the feet back into plank or chaturanga. Inhaling up dog, open heart. Exhaling down dog. We're going to inhale, bring this right foot up to the ceiling, just like before. Right away on the exhale, step it down in between the hands by that right thumb. So here I'm going to give you the option. You can drop the knee down like before, come into your lunge, or you can keep that left knee up, come into a standing lunge here. So it's up to you. What I want you to notice is the same thing on this pose. I got a few that went in. So the same thing with this pose is that psoas stretch. So as you're in this, especially if you're up, I want you to keep that tailbone tucked under. So the more you have that tailbone tucked under, you might have a generous bend in this left knee, which is totally fine. But in time, you'll be able to straighten that leg out, that knee, locking the knee out, and you feel that wonderful stretch in this hip flexor, which is the main stretch, the main muscles you want to stretch if you sit a lot. So giving some love here. We got 2 more breaths, just like before, maybe bringing hands together, reaching the hands above the head, keeping the tailbone tucked, maybe a slight arch backward, opening up the chest just a little bit for one more big inhale. As you exhale, what we're going to do is come down, bring the left hand down to the ground, and we're going to inhale, the right hand comes up here. So we're in a little twisted lunge here. So now you can lock this left knee out, and maybe even reach this right hand over top, adding a little bit of stretch to the chest. Maybe a little roll through the hands and wrists. Feeling your whole body connected here. For one more inhale and exhale. On the last inhale, maybe reaching a little bit further with that right hand over top. And then exhale, right hand wraps that right foot. Find your plank or your chaturanga pose. Inhaling up dog. Exhale into your down dog. Good job. I'm sure you all are doing great. Inhale, left side this time. Left foot comes up. Right away, exhale, step that foot down by the left thumb. So here, you get to choose. You can drop this right knee down, come into your nut lunge here, or you can pick the knee up. You're in a full lunge. So again, just like before, it's a psoas. You'll get used to this theme. So tucking in the tailbone, bringing a bend to that right knee, as much of a bend you need, and then slowly straightening out that knee to where you find that nice stretch here in the psoas. And then let's bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up. Pause here as you exhale. You might
Open up a little bit more in the next inhale, holding one more breath. Connecting to your breath, firm body, not tense. Last inhale, keep reaching, keep breathing. And then exhale, right hand comes to the mat, to the right of that left foot. Inhale, left hand comes up to the ceiling. A little twisting to the chest, twisting to the left. And maybe keep opening up this left hand towards over top of the body. And add some wrist circles here. So really connect through all the limbs of the body, even the fingers. Do some waves in the fingers. Get creative here. One last full breath. Ending with an inhale, big inhale through the chest. And then exhale, slowly wrap the left foot around that left foot. Come into your plank or chaturanga. Inhale, scoop it up into your up dog. Exhale, send it back into your child pose. So here we take a rest. So your body is nice and warm now. Come into your child pose. Maybe a little rock left and right. Making sure all parts of the body is relaxed. So come into a still child pose, making sure the fingers and hands are relaxed. The elbows are heavy. The shoulders aren't holding any tension. The forehead is glued to the mat. No tension in the back of the neck. And check in on the hips here. Check in the inner groins, making sure you're not naturally pulling the knees towards one another. You're fully relaxed. Your body's letting go, just falling deeper and deeper into the pose with every breath. Coming back to that intention that you set at the beginning of class. Just being thankful that you're here on your mat right now. It's the most important thing is gratitude. Letting everything else stem from there and being thankful for your breath. Slowly deepening your breath through the low stomach, maybe making it a little bit deeper on the inhales, filling it up like a balloon. And again, on the exhale, you feel that extra sense of relaxation kick in, slowing down the exhales. Finding our last two breaths here to yourself. And after that last exhale, slowly gazing forward through your hands. We're going to inhale, roll it forward into our seal pose. The knees can stay on the ground. Just open up the heart, open up the hips, maybe give a little shake. And as you exhale, come into your down dogs. Hips come up and back. Give a little pedal, just feeling how much more loose your body is already, being thankful for that. What we're going to do is a little baby lizard pose. So my last nice stretch for your psoas. It's one of my favorite ones. So on the inhale, let's bring this right foot up to the ceiling. Three-legged down dog. As you exhale, step this foot on the outside of the right hand by the right pinky. Drop the left knee down and pause. So from here, it's called a baby lizard pose. Bring this left hand forward just a little bit to where your left fingertips are a little bit more ahead than the right toes. So they're not in line with each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to point this right foot out a little bit and maybe come onto the side of the foot a little bit if you want to twist to the right here. So there's a lot of ways you can do this pose. I'm just going to kind of guide you through a lot of different variations. So really explore the body, see what feels good. But if you're sitting a long day at work, you're just like not having it, and your hips are just tighter than usual, this is the pose that should be your best friend. This is the pose that's going to let on this left side, your psoas open up. So here, just like we've been doing this whole flow, we've been tucking in the tailbone. Here, I want you to explore that too. So tuck in the tailbone slightly here and feel how that gives a little extra sensation. to that psoas area on the left side. Keep that tuck, and then you can twist through this pose, gaze over the right shoulder to the back of the mat. And if you're really stretchy in here, flexible, some of you might be able to grab this left foot. So we're going to find the last 2 breaths here. Whatever variation you choose, it's totally fine. You don't have to rotate at the chest. You do not have to grab the foot. And you don't even have to tuck in the tailbone. Some of you will feel stretch in the psoas without tucking in the tailbone at all. It's just important to find what works for you. So last breath here. If you do have the foot, slowly let go of the foot. We're going to turn back to the front. So both hands are down on the ground now. Hands are nice and even. We're going to curl in the left toes here. Pick up the left knee. We're just going to hold this. So this might be a little bit too intense. If so, keep the knee down. It's kind of like that lunge pose we did when we had to have the knee bent. So here, if you want to really intensify the stretch, tuck in the tailbone and then lift up the left knee. If it's too intense, you can leave the tailbone untucked. But if not, finding both and feeling that stretch in that left psoas. One more big breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly drop the knee down. We're going to send the right foot back. Right knee meets the left knee. Come into your child pose. Give a little wiggle left and right. Small little massage for the hip flexor. Take a breath to yourself. Coming back to that intention, letting it guide you through every pose, making each one of these physical poses a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more intention behind them. On your next inhale, let's gaze forward, roll it forward into your seal pose. Really feeling good at open up the hips. And then exhale, come into your down dog. Hips go up and back. This time, left foot comes up as you inhale, 3-legged down dog. As you exhale, step that left foot on the outside of the left hand. Drop the right knee down. Situate yourself to where you're comfortable. This left knee is over the left heel. And from here, again, we tuck in the tailbone. So you get a slight tucking right here. And that helps you feel that psoas right away. Even me, I can do this pose every day of my life. I'm still feeling it. So no matter where you are in your journey, you're going to feel that nice stretch. That's what you're looking for. So you keep that there, and then you might rotate the chest to the left. You might gaze over that left shoulder, and it kind of just drops this right hip down a little bit more. It adds to the stretch. So it's not needed. You don't need to do it. But if your body feels like it wants this today, maybe you try it. And again, if you're really stretchy, flexible through the quads, you can bend at the right leg, grab that right foot. And you're holding here. This kind of mixes up a little quad and psoas stretch. For 2 more breaths. Be closing the eyes down, having a little journey inside of the body. I can help a lot. Feeling where you're holding on tension where you don't need to be right now. Focusing on the stretch that you want. Last inhale. If you have the foot, slowly let go. As you exhale, we're rotating back to the front. Bring your hands level to one another, parallel. You can square up this left foot, and we're going to tuck in the right toes. So here, tuck in the tailbone again. I'm going to keep reminding you of that because that's the cue that you really want to have this extra sensation for the psoas. So the tailbone is tucked. Slowly start to lift up that right knee. And you'll feel a beautiful little stretch. Stop where you need to. Wherever you find your sweet spot, you stop. If you can lock it out all the way, that's great. If you can lock it out all the way, imagine reaching the right heel to the back of the room, reaching the left knee to the front of the room, keeping the tailbone tucked. 1 more breath here. I gotta love this stretch. It's one of my favorite. Last inhale. On the exhale, slowly drop the right knee down. Bring the left knee to meet the right knee. Come back into your child pose. Your resting pose. Give a little wiggle left and right for a breath. And just like before, find a completely relaxed body. Find a couple breaths here.
Just feel how much more comfortable the hips are already at being in this flex position. Maybe a little less tension. Maybe now you don't feel the knees naturally wanting to pull toward one another. Or you're letting go of that subtle level of tension in the inner groin that a lot of us have in this pose. Last breath here, just letting that go. Great. On the next inhale, let's gaze forward, roll it forward into your seal pose. And we're going to hold this here a couple breaths. Maybe give a little wiggle. And I just want you to notice again the differences of how this feels versus the first seal pose you did at the beginning of the flow. Your hip points a little bit more open. The hip flexors are much more forgiving, allowing your hip points to open up in the front body. Last breath, inhaling. As you exhale, slowly coming to your tabletop, we're just going to wrap our feet under us and roll down onto our back. So take your time. We're coming to our back and we're hugging our knees together. Give a little rock left and right. And I'm so sorry I was asked to turn it on to where people coming into the waiting room could automatically come in. I just can't do that because Zoom calls get hacked all the time. And if I did that, someone could come in and ruin it. And I've had that happen before. So I'm so sorry I had to get up every once in a while from a mat to let people in. That's just what we got to do, I guess. So from here, we're going to reach our hands in between our knees here. We're going to grab the outer edges of our feet and pull our knees to our sides, pull the soles of the feet to face the ceiling. This is called happy baby pose. I'm sure we've all seen our kids do this at one point in time. And from here, if you want to give a little rock left and right, this is great as well. I like to recommend that you keep your sacrum on the ground so your low back is flat. That's going to add to that decompression that we need from sitting all day. You feel a lot of compression in the low spine from gravity pulling down. So this is a great one to release that. And as well, if you rock left and right, get that nice massage to the lower rectus spinae. Amazing. One more breath. Slowly letting go of the feet here, bringing the knees together. And we're going to drop the knees down to the left side. And we're going to gaze to the right side. Maybe bring your left hand to that right knee, pressing it down to the ground. Gazing over to the right side, we're going to find 2 deep breaths into the low stomach here. So you really want to breathe in deep, breathe in a full inhale, find that compression, breathing through that compression, massaging out those lower organs. And on the exhales, you just feel the body relax even further, go a little bit deeper into the twist maybe. One more breath here, breathing fully, all the way through the compression of the twist. We'll slowly come back to the middle on the inhale. Maybe hug the knees in for a breath. Or you go right into the twist on the other side as you exhale, dropping the knees to the right, gazing over to the left. And again here, we got 2 deep breaths into the low stomach. I want you to try to breathe through that compression that you're making in this twist. You sort of feel this little resistance to your breath, but breathe all the way through that. That's where most of your benefits are going to come from. You're forcing your air to go into new pockets of the body. And every exhale just gets softer, brings more relaxation. Find your last round of breath here to yourself. Slowly coming back to the center on an inhale. Hug the knees into the heart one last time. Maybe give a little rock left and right. Wonderful. So we're going to move into some of my favorite parts, which is breath work. So what we're going to do first is bring the feet together next to the sit bones here and drop the knees wide. So if this is too intense for the body, you can always bring blocks underneath the knees on both sides that like lessen the stretch of the groin, or you can send the feet further away from you and that'll lessen the stretch of the groin area. But if you want more of an intense stretch, keep the feet closer to you, of course. So this is called recline butterfly pose. One of my favorites. So what we're going to do here is bring the right hand to the low stomach. We're going to bring the left hand to the heart. So just pause here, finding a couple of normal breaths, checking in on the body, letting your body fall deep into this pose. And again, just feeling thankful that you're here. You're showing up for yourself. That's so important. So what this breath work is a 3-part inhale divided into the low stomach, the low chest, and then the upper chest, followed by a slow 6 to 8 second exhale that's gradually letting everything go all together. So we're going to do 3 rounds of this together, with every round getting a little bit more intense, a little bit deeper. But as always, find the sweet spot that works for you. So whenever you're ready, let's first sync all of our breaths together. Everyone find a big regular inhale, pulling in as much breath as you can. Once you hit the top, pull in a little bit more breath. And then exhale everything out. Letting it all go. Once you reach the bottom, give it a little push. Make sure it's all gone. And for round 1, inhaling the stomach first, then the low chest, then your upper chest, feeling the left hand lift up to the ceiling. And exhale, slow and controlled. Letting the exhale go out gradually all the way to the bottom. And round 2, inhaling stomach first, low chest, upper chest, feeling the collarbones open up, feeling all parts of the rib cage opening up. And as you hit the top, slowly start your exhale, letting it go gradually. Reclaiming full control of the breath. And as your exhale hits the bottom, we're going to do our 3rd and deepest round yet. Inhaling the stomach first, low chest, then your upper chest, really filling up all parts of the stomach and chest, going to the top. Once you feel the top, pull in a little bit more, and then exhale, slowly let go at your own pace, making this exhale slow as you like. Feeling the whole body just bring over this extra sense of calmness. And as you reach the bottom, the exhale, just bring your hands to your side with the palms facing the ceiling, coming back to your regular breath. Just connect here with the body, with your regular breath. No movement whatsoever. Fully relaxed. The only movement coming from your breath. Just taking a moment to feel grounded here. Feeling your back, the back of your head, the back of your arms, all supported by the ground. Just feeling into all points of contact with the ground. Feeling glued to it. Feeling your body get heavier and heavier. Just falling deeper and deeper into this pose with every breath. With no resistance to the pose.
letting your intention come back into your thoughts. And whenever your mind starts to drift, just come back to that intention. And if your intention changes, that's okay. It's whatever's making you feel connected right now to yourself, to your breath, to the ground beneath you. Just breathing into that. And from here, we're going to slowly straighten out our legs all the way, coming into our final pose, Shavasana, which is called corpse pose. So I like to have my feet a little bit wider than my mat so your toes can fall to the outer edges. And our hands to our sides with our palms facing the ceiling, just opened up to receive energy. And here, just sticking with our natural breath for a few breaths. Taking a full body scan to relax the entire body. So I want you to feel the tips of your toes. See if you can feel any sensation without moving them. Just feel your toes. I want you to start feeling them become soft and relaxed. And that slight tangly sensation rolling through your feet, up through your legs, feeling your knees become heavy. All the way up to your hips, feeling your hips dissolve down into your mat. And I want you to feel those same sensations in the tips of your fingers. Just feeling energetically how relaxed your fingers are. You start to feel that sensation roll through the hands, up the arms, all the way to the shoulders, letting go of all the tension you're carrying in your shoulders. Feeling the neck tension let go, your head becoming heavier. Relaxing at the jaw, the tongue. Your eyelids are soft. Eyebrows are fully relaxed. Everything is relaxed. The only movement coming from your breath. You can lie here with your natural breathing if you'd like, but if you'd like to join in our last breath work, you're more than welcome to bring both hands to the stomach, staying in the same exact position. Everything's relaxed, but bringing your hands on top of your stomach. We're going to do slow belly breathing, 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out. We're going to do 3 rounds together. This really just helps send the nervous system even deeper into that parasympathetic nervous system response where you're in your rest and digest, super calm, relaxed state. So what we're going to do together first with the regular inhale, inhaling as much as you can, filling up your body with breath. And once you can't pull in anymore, find your exhale, let it go out the mouth. Wonderful. Round 1, breathing in through your nose, only into the low stomach. Breathing in nice and slowly. You feel the hands slowly lift up, doing the best to just keep your breath in the stomach area. And exhaling out the nose for 8 seconds. So letting the breath go slowly, controlled. Round 2, inhaling the stomach. Exhale, letting it go.
Last round, inhaling the stomach. Exhale, letting it go slow as you can. As you reach the bottom of the exhale, bring your hands back to your sides with your palms facing the ceiling. Everything relaxed, back to your natural breath. Just enjoying this space that you created for a moment. Noticing the stillness you have in your body, the deeper connection you have with your breath. Maybe a little hyper awareness you have going on, the sensations in your body, whether that's good or bad, whether that's softness or hardness, whatever it is you're feeling. Just noticing what's going on right now. Only focus on this current moment and your intention. And from here, slowly start to bring movement back into the fingers and toes. Maybe rolling out the wrists and the ankles. Then reaching the hands above the head. Reaching the hands up top, pointing the toes out front, stretching the whole entire body, a little morning yawn stretch. And from here, if you notice that one nostril has better airflow than the other, go ahead and roll to the open side into your fetal position, resting your head on your arm. And if you can't tell which side is more open, roll over to your right side. And we're just going to find 2 or 3 breaths here in this fetal position, balance out our energies, taking your time. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly meet me in a comfortable seated position. Working your way up. And that's all I have for you today in terms of our flow. I hope that was fun. I hope it resonated with you all, especially if you're new to yoga, you've never done a yoga class before. Very calm, it's mostly a psoas intention flow. And I hope it made sense to you. All the tailbone tucking, all the slight cues, because it really makes a huge difference when you flow on your own, just to feel into your own body, especially when you sit a lot and you're curled into hip flexors, that psoas muscle, which is our main hip flexor, like our emotional hip flexor, it shortens on us. So as that tightens up over time, again, like I said at the beginning, it can cause a lot of postural issues. It can cause a lot of low back pain, a lot of hip pain, and a lot of just uncomfortableness, and it doesn't let you move in day-to-day life. So maybe a seal pose or a lunge pose is really hard for you if that muscle was really tightened. So over time, your body will be able to enter these positions once you just give some more love to that muscle. So if there's any questions, I would love to answer any questions. I'm just going to go over to end the session today, my favorite tips for you all to do when you're in the office. A lot of the people I talk to, they're working from an office. So, you can't just bust out any yoga pose that you want to. In an office, of course, it's because you're limited with space, and you might be limited, you don't want your coworkers to see you doing certain positions, just like out on the carpet, like in the workspace, unless you have a yoga room at your office. Some people do. But if you're at home, you can really do anything. No one's watching, you can pop up on your couch, you can do anything and everything. But the main thing I would want to show is, did we have any questions? You can unmute yourself right now if you have any questions.
because those are usually where I can answer the best. A little Q&A.